Maybe the candy was cursed, or I was. Anything could happen this Halloween. The full moon hung in the night sky like a pale, ghastly eye, casting an eerie glow over the silent suburban street. Halloween had arrived, and the air was filled with the scent of fallen leaves and the distant laughter of trick-or-treaters. I, like so many others, had donned my costume and set off in search of sweets and spooky thrills. My adventure had led me down a dark and winding road, far from the bustling neighborhoods where children eagerly knocked on doors and shouted, "Trick or treat!" I had always been a fan of the unconventional, seeking out hidden gems that were off the beaten path. As I strolled along, I noticed a dimly lit house at the end of the street. Its yard was shrouded in mist, and the flickering porch light illuminated a simple sign that read, "Candy for the brave." Curiosity got the better of me, and I approached the house, its weathered boards creaking beneath my footsteps. I raised my hand and knocked on the door, my heart pounding with anticipation. Moments later, it swung open, revealing an elderly man with a sinister grin, his eyes obscured by shadows. "Welcome, brave soul," he whispered, extending a gnarled hand toward a large bowl filled with an assortment of candy. I hesitated for a moment, but the allure of the unique Halloween experience was too strong to resist. I reached into the bowl and grabbed a handful of treats, my fingers trembling as I did. "Enjoy your spoils," the old man croaked. I could feel his eyes boring into my soul as I turned to leave. That's when the night began to change. As I made my way back down the winding road, a shiver crept down my spine. The candy I held in my hand suddenly felt heavy, as if it were made of lead. I felt an overwhelming sense of unease. The world around me seemed to warp and shift. The once familiar houses and trees took on a sinister, otherworldly quality, their shadows stretching and contorting like grotesque, nightmarish figures. I quickened my pace, hoping to escape the oppressive atmosphere, but the road seemed to stretch on endlessly. The moon, once a distant orb in the sky, now loomed overhead, casting an eerie, blood-red glow that bathed the street in a surreal, haunting light. I began to hear whispers in the wind, voices that spoke of long-forgotten fears and whispered secrets. The candy I held in my hand seemed to pulse with an unnatural energy, and I realized that I was not alone. Dark shapes flitted at the edge of my vision, and I could sense their evil presence drawing closer. Suddenly, I heard a sinister laugh that sent chills down my spine. I turned to see the old man from the house, his grin now a rictus of pure malevolence. "You've taken my candy, brave soul," he hissed. At that moment, I knew I had made a terrible mistake. I broke into a run, desperate to escape the nightmare that had enveloped me. But the road stretched on, leading me deeper into a twisted, phantasmagoric landscape. The shadows reached out for me, their fingers cold and grasping. I could hear the whispers growing louder, more insistent, as if they were trying to tell me something I was not meant to know. As I ran, the world around me continued to change. The houses and trees seemed to merge and meld together, forming grotesque, nightmarish shapes that loomed over me, like ancient, malevolent spirits. I stumbled and fell, dropping the cursed candy onto the ground. It lay there, pulsing with an otherworldly light, its presence like a beacon in the swirling darkness. I knew I had to make a choice. I could leave the candy behind and hope to escape this nightmare, or I could pick it up and face whatever horrors awaited me. At that moment, the decision was clear. I reached for the candy and felt a surge of power and dread coursing through me. The old man appeared once more, his eyes blazing with a malevolent fire. "You have chosen your fate," he cackled. "Now, you are mine." With that, he reached out, and the world around me shattered into a maelstrom of nightmare and chaos. I awoke with a start, drenched in sweat, safe and sound in my own bed. The morning light streamed in through my window, and I couldn't help but wonder if it had all been a dream. But as I glanced at the candy that still sat on my nightstand, I knew that it was no ordinary dream. I had experienced something otherworldly, something that defied explanation. Halloween had come and gone, but the terror of that night would stay with me forever. I had taken candy from a stranger, and in doing so, I had ventured into a nightmarish realm beyond imagination. The old man's sinister grin and the whispers of the shadows would haunt my dreams, a reminder that sometimes the line between trick and threat is a fine one, and the price of curiosity can be more terrifying than one could ever imagine. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for me and like this video. Keep it creepy and see you next time.